6 Frugal Habits Money Experts Disagree On. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. There is no end to all of the financial advice you'll see on the internet. Money influencers will say one thing, and then you'll promptly read a rebuttal. If you're trying to stay on budget, knowing how to spend wisely should be your priority. That's why it's important to weigh all sides of an argument and arrive at your own conclusions. Some money experts still swear by practices like skip the latte, buy a home, when today that couldn't be further from the truth, said Dan Kreuter, director of Tailored Pay. Even if you skip the $6 latte you buy daily every day for 10 years, eventually, that amount of money, for example, $21,900, will still not be enough for a down payment on a home 10 years from now, he said. Especially considering real estate is only getting more expensive. Kreuter suggested a balance of being frugal and doing things you enjoy. The argument is whether it's more important to be economical and frugal instead of doing things we enjoy, he explained. While other experts may disagree, I see no reason why we can't do both. Know your goals, know what's realistic, and then budget for both. Let's consider the popular frugal habit of buying in bulk to save money, said Esther Strauss, co-founder of Step by Step Business. Many financial experts advocate for this approach, citing the lower per unit cost of items when purchased in larger quantities. However, I take a more nuanced stance on this practice, she explained. While buying in bulk can indeed be cost-effective for consumables that you use frequently, it can lead to overspending and waste in other scenarios. For example, Strauss said buying perishable items, like fresh produce or dairy, in bulk often results in throwing away unused portions that have spoiled. This negates the savings and contributes to food waste, she said. Similarly, Strauss said that bulk purchases of non-perishable items can lead to overconsumption or stockpiling of goods you don't really need. For families in smaller living spaces, storing large quantities of products can also become an issue, leading to clutter and disorganization, she noted. My perspective is influenced by observing consumer behavior and the misallocation of resources that bulk buying sometimes encourages. Strauss suggested a more balanced approach. Instead, I recommend a more tailored approach. Buy in bulk selectively, focusing on items that you are certain to use and have the space to store efficiently, Strauss added. This method, she said, ensures that the benefits of buying in bulk are realized without the accompanying pitfalls. Using up your health savings account. Many experts will tell you to take advantage of tax-free dollars in your health savings account to cover your everyday health expenses because tax-free is cheap, right? Said Doug Miles, founder and CEO of Healthy Wealth. I say if you can afford to pay some or all of those expenses out of pocket and are disciplined enough to keep the receipts, you should invest and grow your money. And when you keep those receipts, you're storing tax-free cash you can withdraw at any time without any tax penalty. The receipts don't expire, Miles said. The truth is that the HSA is, dollar for dollar, the most powerful retirement account available to Americans, and everyone who has a qualified HDHP should get an HSA and treat it like the IRA on steroids that it actually is. Not outsourcing tasks. I've always believed that the value of our time often outweighs the cost of certain expenses, said Rhett Stubbendeck, CEO and founder of Leverage Planning. For example, many experts suggest doing all your own chores to save money. Mark Cuban is a fan of this approach. While I respect the discipline behind this, I've found that outsourcing tasks like yard work can actually be more economical in the long run, he said. This change freed up hours each week for me, allowing me to focus on expanding my company, ultimately generating far more than what I spent on landscaping. Cutting networking costs is another controversial topic among financial experts. Another area where I differ is the advice to avoid professional networking events to cut costs, Stubbendeck said. At my company, we've seen firsthand how the right connections made at these events can lead to opportunities that significantly boost our business, clearly justifying the initial investment. Some money experts may advise buying cheaper items to save money, but that could end up costing you in the long run. Lastly, buying cheap can end up costing you more, Stubbendeck highlighted. "I learned this the hard way with tech equipment," he explained. "Investing in a higher quality laptop initially seemed expensive, but it lasted longer and had fewer issues, proving to be more cost-effective than a cheaper alternative." Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Source: Dinar Recaps.